Okay, so there's two ways to train when you take somebody through a client. If you've done it long enough, you don't necessarily have to get on every machine to demonstrate it. If you're new at it, you're probably going to want to get on the machine and demonstrate it. It makes it a little easier to show them. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get on each machine as if I'm the client. So I'm going to explain it to you that way. So when I get on here, this is the leg press. So again, we're looking up here, matching it, seeing how to start and stop. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the adjustments. Like on this particular machine, it has one adjustment here. We're just going to adjust it out the length that I need from my length of my leg. So I'm going to grab it here, and I can go up or down right here by just doing that lever. Now I'm going to find the adjustment that fits me perfect. Now once I get it, I'm going to try this here. What I'm looking for is to get up in here at about 90 degrees, which just fits me about perfect. I'm going to have this position here, and then when I push out, I'm going to push out all the way, not to where my legs lock. I can sit here all day like that. I want to have a little bit of bend in my knee. Okay, that way it keeps the pressure on the muscle, not the joint. So when I come up, I'm going to come all the way back down, just right before the weights hit, and I'm going back out. Just like that. I want to go a slow movement, about 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. That way I'm in control of the movement the entire way. Now again, on the first workout, all you're doing is trying to get range of motion, see if they get sore from it. If they don't get sore from it, you're going to tell them to move the weight up. So when I do this, typically when I'm taking them through, when I get them on the machine, the way I'll start, I'll have the card back in my hand. So let's pretend like the customer's on here. So what I'll do is I'll just say, this is Ted. So when I get Ted on here, I've got him all adjusted where he's going. I'm going to tell him, Ted, okay, we got 4 repetitions we've done already. I want you to go ahead and get me 15 of these. So I want you to start counting now. We're at 4 now. You go ahead and start counting. While you're counting, I'm going to write your adjustments and settings down. So while he's doing his set, he's already learned how to do the form. He's counting, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to write down. So what I'll do is I'll look at his adjustments. So let's say he's on 6. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over just a little bit here. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to write down here, leg press, 6. I'm going to look at his weight, 4. He's doing 15 reps, and I'll date it. What's today's date? 27th, 28th. So what I've done, I'm also counting with him while he's doing this. So he's on here doing it because he may forgot what I just said. So let's say he's at 13. I'm gonna say, okay, where are you at, Ted? Oh, I'm on number, I forgot. When you're on 13, remember to count, okay? Now he gets to 15, he stops. At this point, before he gets off, I'm gonna say, okay, Ted, let me show you what we just did. You see your number 6 right here? I wrote that down for you. So your number 6 on your adjustment. We had it on 4, so instead of writing what it is on this deal, I'm just writing 4. I'm putting your weight over top of your reps. So you'll see where it says weight and reps. So I put today's date on it, and I put your 4, 15 times. Now the reason that's on here is later on when you start working out, if you work out every other day, full body, when you come back for your second time, you'll date it here, and you'll write what you did again. Now if you're not sore from any range of motion here, and that was light, what I want you to think about next time when you work out on this machine or any others, if you do 15 times, you think, well, I could have got 6 or 7 more. I want you to move it up 5 pounds or so. I want to have some resistance on there after the first workout. So the number, typically the way you'll know to move the weight up is if you know you could get 5 or 6 more. But if you're doing, say, 11 and you're straining and you're having to cheat on your form, you know you went up too heavier. So you want the last one to be like, man, that's all I could get, but my form was really good. And then when you get over here to the 7th workout, I'm going to circle this for you. Typically that's your 3rd week. So if you came Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that following Monday is where you're going to start doing 2 sets. So I do a set here, and I'm going to rest 30 seconds and do another set. Now you can't record both sets, just record your strongest set, which is typically your number 1, your first set, okay? Then you're going to move to the next machine. That's what we're going to do now. So when we move over here, what you're going to do here is, again, you're going to match it. So now, according to the card, I'm on leg extension, so I want to get them in the habit. So what I did on the first one, I explained everything on detail. They know how the picture worked, the adjustment, the settings. So at this point, when I get them here, I'm going to say, if you don't mind, Ted, I want you to go ahead and put this on number 4. So I would let him do it. That way I know now that he knows how to use the pen. So if he put it on 4, now I know that I've involved him in it. So once he puts it on 4, I'm going to take over. So I'm going to say, okay, we're on leg extension. And again, I'm getting him used to looking at this stuff, matching it up. I'm not going to be one trainer that handicaps him and does everything myself. I want him to get in the habit of helping me. So now we're going to look at the leg extension. We know we're the right one. Now he's seen it. He saw the card that said leg extension, and he saw the machine, so he knows it's the right machine. Now I'm going to adjust this for him. Now when I adjust this, typically I've got him on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it adjusted to fit him. Now, the first time we adjust it, you got to stand back here to adjust it. So he's not really seeing that number. So I'm going to get it adjusted where I want it. That way next time he comes up to it, he'll know right where to go at by looking at his card. So let's say I get that set up. So what I'm going to do now, the way I'm going to adjust this is I want to be able to sit in here and have the bend of my knee at that pad. I wouldn't want my leg to be way out of here because it'll put a lot of unneeded pressure on my knee. Nor would I want to have it on this side of the pad. I want it right in the bend. So when I get it here, that pad should meet my back. Now this situation is meeting me fine. If it were too far back, I'd want to bring the seat up or vice versa. So this actually fits me. So once I do it, I'm going to have them, I've already had them adjust the weight. So when I get in here, I'm going to show him proper form. Now on this one here, you can grab these handles here. You're going to extend it all the way out. It looks like you're flexing, which is basically you are flexing that muscle, but you're not hyperextending the knee. So it's kind of what we call a soft lock. So when they come up, they're going to come up. It's going to work the lower quad. So instead of being up high like the leg press, you're hitting the lower quad. So now you're coming back down and back up. Now this leg extension is a little bit different than the other ones. So sometimes people don't like this as much the other because it doesn't give you as much range of motion. But again, it was designed originally for rehab. They didn't want you coming way back down or going too high up. But again, I'm going a 2 second up, 2 second down. I still had them 15 times. Now when I'm going through the workout with them, I always ask you, what's that weight feel like, Ted? Does it feel like it's going to be too heavy for 15? If so, we can drop it down. Or if it feels too light, we're going to put a little tension on it. So again, I'm going to tell him to get 15. I've got him counting again. And while he's doing that, I'm writing down. So I've got to, let's say I have this in my hand. So while he's doing this set, I'm actually writing what he's doing. Again, I'm doing this to save time because if I wait till he gets off every time, it's going to take more time to take him through. So let's just say what I've done. I've come back here, I've looked at my number. So where I have him on number 4. So I'm writing this down. Remember, I have got Ted counting the whole time he's moving. And I'm writing down my adjustment here. So basically I had 4 on the weight, 15 times. And so he knows now at this point, he knows how this card works because he saw me do it here. So now I've got the adjustment. So what I'm going to do is confirm. So let's say you got to number 15. He's still sitting here. I'm going to say, okay, Ted, jump off just a second. Look back here. So he's going to walk back here. He's going to see, look, Ted, I'm on number 4. I got it written down here for you. So when you come back, you'll adjust this before you sit down because you can't see the number when you're sitting down. All you'll do is grab this here. I'm going to show him again where he can see me. I'm going to show him grabbing this and putting it where I want it. That way he knows how to do that now, okay? So now we've got everything written up. Got it all written down. He's confirming again the count, and now we're going to the leg curl. So now we're going right next door again. Now I do want to tell you something here. If you're taking somebody through the circuit, the Cybex circuit is in a circle, the Magnum is in a circle, so is the women's circuit, Alive Fitness. This is the only one that's not a circle. It literally goes up the line, back up, back up. So you want to explain that to you when you start off too. They know that they're going to go up and come back down the line. Now with this one here, we're going to do a leg curl. Now this one looks a lot like the one they just got off of. It's basically the same machine. Instead of extending it though, you're curling it back. So come on this side over here, let me show you this picture. Okay, so on this picture here, it's going to show you right here, again we're matching it. We got the leg curl, matching it with the card. So when they're in here, it's going to show you working the hamstrings where it's highlighted at. So the opposite of what we just did. So instead of extending it out, we're going to be curling it back. So we're going to get the seat adjusted just like we did a while ago to where my knees are right at the bend here. Once I get them in here, I'm going to bring my legs up top. When I get them here, I'm going to pull this down here so it kind of tightens up against my shin so my legs aren't going to raise up. Once I get it, I'm going to have them curl it back. So they're curling it back here, and they're coming back up slowly. Again, about a 2 second up, 2 second down. Just like that. And again, they're counting because I'm having them count. They're doing 15. So while they're doing that, I'm writing everything down again. So while they're doing it, I'd be writing it all down for them. When they get stopped, I'm going to have them raise this up, pull it out of their way, and they're going to slide out. Now at this machine, remember a while ago, I did everything at the first. I explained everything in detail. The second machine, I had them work the pin. I knew they had to do it. Now this one, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to confirm what we just did. So I'll have the clipboard in my hand, but I'll come up here and I'll say, look, what I did here is we did the leg curl. So what I'm going to have you do at this one, I'm going to have you write all that down. So at this point, they're going to take this. I know now they're going to look at what we did. So they're going to, they see the number we used, number 3. They're going to write this down on leg curl. So they'll be writing that down. They'll be writing their weight down, but they're going to also come back here. I'm going to have them look at this. So when they see this, they're going to see their seat number. So they write that down on adjustment. So now they have their adjustment set, they have their weight and their repetitions all written down for me. Now, what I'm going to also have them do at this point here is we've already learned everything at the first machine. We did the adjustment. Now I want to make sure they understood how to do the seat. So even though I did it a while ago, I'm going to show them how to have it number 4. I'm going to show them how I did it by grabbing this here. So you'll see where I grab this knob. I'm going to raise it up, take it to where I want it. I'm going to put it back, and I'm going to say, okay, if you will, Ted, I want you to go ahead and grab this. I want you to put it on number 6. That way now I see that they know exactly what I'm doing. They know how to adjust that seat. So now we've conquered a lot. We've learned everything at the first machine, pictures, adjustment setting. They assisted the pin. I know they had to do the pin. Now they know how to do the adjustment. Now we're going to go from that. We're going to go ahead and work chest. So I'll explain to them here that we did upper quads, we did lower quads, and we did hamstring. Now we're going to chest. Now on this particular machine here, we've got a part on order, so it's down as far as, I'm not going to be able to show you exactly how to adjust it. There's normally an adjustment under here that you'd be able to adjust from the seat and have a number on it. In this situation though, I do want to demonstrate the form on it. So when you get in here, you're going to have them sit on here. Remember, it's going to work chest. So again, I'm verifying the name of the machine. I'll have the clipboard in my hand. I'm verifying, showing them how to do it. When they get in here, now in this case right now, until we get the part in, this seat's too low for me. And so typically what I'd be wanting to sit about 3 inches higher. So that's hitting me right in the middle of the chest. Now once we get them adjusted to where we want, we're going to have them put their feet here. And they're going to take one of their feet, they're going to press this. When they do it, they're going to press that, it's going to bring this to them. The reason why, it's too hard to reach way back here and get it, so you're going to bring it to you. Once you get it, you're going to grab it here. You'll take that foot back down, and you're going to press it straight up. And do your sit. Now when I get to about the 4th machine, typically I'm going to start kind of paying attention to how they're breathing. And I want to get them to have the breathing. So if they're doing a 2 second up, 2 second down, what I want to do is get them to have a breathing. So the way I normally tell them is on the exertion part of the exercise, you want to exhale. So when I exhale, I'm exhaling through my mouth. And I don't want to do real quick. I want to get them to have it coming up and matching the movement. So the movement means this. I'm exhaling, and it actually stops at the end of the movement. And then I'm coming inhaling through my nose. And it's just kind of matching the movement. So again, now we've done a lot. We've conquered a lot through these first sets. When they get to the number 15, I always tell them, don't come all the way down. Come as far as you can. Use your feet. Raise your feet out. Lower that thing down, and you're ready to get out of it. Now, so remember at this point, we've learned a lot at the first machine. I got them involved at the second machine with the pin. The third machine, I got them involved by doing the adjustments and writing it down. Now, sometimes I don't have them write it down until I get to the 4th. If I haven't done it already, when I get to number 4, then I'm going to have them go and do this. So I'll have the clipboard in my hand. And what I'll do when they're sitting here, I'll say, okay, Ted, what I want to do now, I want you to do it. We're matching the machine. You're at chest press. We know we're matching the machine. I want you to write your adjustment down. So I'd have them looking at adjustment. I'm going to have them write down the adjustment to the seat, and I'm going to write down. Now, this pin's not in here until we get the machine fixed. I'll have them write that down. So now what they've done, they've written chest press. They've written the weight and the reps, and now they know exactly what to do. Now, on this workout here, if I haven't said by this point, what I'll say here is typically when they work out here, they're going to go every other day. So let's say it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. By the 7th workout, which is usually week 3, they're going to go 2 sets. Now, when they do 2 sets, they'll do 1 set, they'll rest 30 seconds, do another set, and they'll move on. Now, with that in mind, they're only going to record 1 set, which is usually the heaviest set, but this is going to advance them to the next level. And so all they'll do is record that. It also lets us know when they're getting stronger and stuff like that. So now, again, back to the first machine, everything was in detail explained. Second machine, again, we had them get involved by doing the pin. Third machine, we had them get involved with the adjustment. Sometimes I'll have them fill out the card, but by the 4th machine, I've got them doing the card too. Now at this point, depending on your time, you may not have time to have them adjust the machine every one of them because you may have a client waiting for another appointment or whatever. And so what I may do at that point is I may go ahead and get them moving on, and then I may start doing a card myself like I did at number 1, so I'm writing it all down. That way I'm saving time. They're doing the exercise, I'm writing down, but at least I know when they come on their own, they're going to know what to do on that. Okay, now we're on the second row. So we went all the way up that aisle, and we're coming back up this way. So now what we've done is we've done legs, we've done the very first chest machine, and now we're going to do the pec deck for chest. Now remember, at this point, since you already understand how to do the workout card, in the sense of taking you through for the training video part of this, you know how to do all that now. What I need to know that you know how to do now is get the adjustments set for the right position of each person. So on this one here, it's the pec fly. You already know how all this adjustment. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to name the name of the machine and show you the form, how we do it. So on this particular deal, we already know how to do our adjustments. I'm going to put it on lighter weight. When you sit in here, this is a very big stretch for a lot of people. So when you're sitting here, typically now, there's no golden rule to where this seat's got to be, but typically the best place is for this thing to be about mid-chest level. Like for me, I'm a little high here. So again, I'm coming down here to my adjustment. I've got numbers in the front, so Paul will walk over just a second. On these adjustments, you'll see a lot of these lower seats have a window down here with a number like that, number 4. In this case, I'm gonna raise it up 1 notch. I'm gonna get up a little bit higher. Now with me, what I do instead of reaching back with both sides, I'll get one side here. I'll get it in my hand. I'll reach and get the other side. Now when I'm doing this, I want you to pretend like when on any of this pec flies, or a lot of people call it pec deck, pec fly. It's just really working the chest. So when I'm doing this, I want to pretend, I don't want to be stiff armed like this, or I'm gonna hurt my elbows. I want to act like I'm hugging a big round tree. So I'm going in a circular motion. And I'm still going nice slow form. But I'm just going this circular motion right here. Really a good chest exercise. And again, the speed's about 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, and that's going to be your pec deck. And that's how you're going to adjust the setting for that person. Now we're going to go over to this pull down. On this pull down, it's really simple because we don't have a adjustment for the seat. The seat's locked in position. The only adjustment you have to think about is getting their legs locked down so this thing doesn't pull them up. So when I'm showing them here, again, I'm going to go a lighter weight. At this point, they know how to adjust. I'm just telling them where I want it to go. I'm going to get this down to where I want it to make sure my leg's going to be good. Once I get it, I'm going to tell them if they're tall, they can grab the upper one. If they're shorter like me, they're going to grab this one here. Once they get it in their hand, they'll sit back down. They'll get their legs back here. And what I tell them here is if you're not careful, you're doing everything with your arms. I want to teach them to engage with their back. So literally what I'm doing is telling them to pull with your back, follow with your arms. Come down to about chin level and back up. Chin level. You don't want to come down further than that because if you turn your hands here, you're going to hurt your wrist. So it's really here to here. Again, you want to get them to have a not going real fast. You'll see a lot of people fly through their workout. They're just not getting the results like they want when they do that. So I want to get them to have it. Now remember the breathing. They've already conquered all that stuff, so I don't have to go through that with y'all right now. But you may have to remind your client when they get the last one, they're going to step up with it and let it go. You don't want them to just let go of the machine or it's going to tear it up. They always have to stop, step out, and come up with it, okay? Now we're going to go to the rolling machine. So when we do the rolling machine, sometimes if I were sitting on here, I think, how am I going to reach that? So the thing is, you got to remember, I can come up here, get a hold to the handles, and I can slide my rear end back like this and get where I want to. What I want to do is be fully extended. Now when I come up, there's no golden rule of this, but typically your body wants to go in this movement because you're going to clear your shoulders. So when you come here, you're turning your hands as you go. Okay, now again, you don't have to, you can just do a roll like that, but it just doesn't feel comfortable. So if you can come up like this, now you see how I hit? What I need to do at this point right here is slide myself back so I'm not hitting with the weights. So now I'm getting a full range out of it. So again, now I'm coming up and down. And I'm just doing about a 2 second count again. And then I'll get 15. Again, they know how to do everything at this point. Now we're going to go over here to the next one. This is shoulder press. Now this one is a little different than a lot of shoulder press because it was kind of designed so there's no compression on your spine as much as most shoulder because they come straight down. This one goes up to a 75-degree angle. So on this one here, I would adjust it to where their shoulders about level with that thing when they got it. It's about right for me. And put the weight in here. What they're going to do here, they're going to grab it. They're going to push up over their head. They don't want to fully extend. They want just a little bit of bend in their elbow. So it's here and back. Just like this. Now this one's range is a little bit off right here. It should be going down about here, but we got some slack in the cable. They had to order a new cable. So normally it would be coming right here. Right now if they come, they got some slack in it, but don't pay attention to that. Just remember that'll be fixed soon. So it's here. And again, nice slow movement. Remember you're always watching their breathing at this point, making sure their breathing's real good. And that's how you do that. Now we're going to the third roll, which is going back up and coming back down. So we're going to walk over this way. So on this particular machine here, it's just called a tricep press. Remember, I'd still be looking at the seated dip. I'd be making sure they're matching it to their card. Every time I want them to have it, remember that picture's there, how to start and stop. Now you'll see how she's starting, how she's stopping. So weight-wise, I'm going to get in here. Typically I want to get in here so I can still grab this pretty good here. Put my feet here. Now what I'm doing, there's two ways on here. Like see, this turns. And the reason why it turns, someone may be a little larger than someone else. They may need it out further. But if you're narrow, you want to come into the inside because you don't want to flare your elbows out when you're doing it. Some people you'll see flaring their elbows out. That's not good. That's going to mess your shoulders up. You want to keep your elbows in as tight as you can. You'll push down, you'll flex that tricep out, that muscle. Come back up 90 degrees. Back down again. Again, they're working their triceps. Remember, you want to define. And when I'm typically training somebody, what I'm doing, I'm touching the muscle. I call it tapping. So some people don't know their bicep from their tricep. So remember, they have the picture. They also have confirmation when you're taking them through. Again, I'm going a nice 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. And that's going to be my tricep press. Now I'm going to go from tricep over here to biceps. Remember, we're starting off largest muscle group going to the smallest. So now we're going to be over here on the biceps. So when they do their biceps, just making sure my mic's on. So when I sit in here, no adjustment whatsoever needed. Just going to have my weight stacked. So when I sit in here, I'm going to tell them what I need you to do. This is independent movement, meaning this cable, if I want to, I can grab these handles. I can actually do one side at a time. Now, in this case, we only want to do both sides at the same time. So when I sit here, I'm going to have them put their palms forward, want them to curl up, and come down slowly. Back up, and down, just like this. And again, they're going to go. Now, they can lean their head all the way back. Some people like to sit up straight like I'm doing. Either way, nice and slow, and we're going 15 again. Now remember, when your workout card, some people will go 10, 12, and 15. 15 is typically the number we go with most people. They're just wanting to condition. If it's somebody wanting to maybe gain a little size and more strength, I'd say them do 10. If it's someone immediate that's maybe wanting a little bit of both, I'd say 12. But typically 15 reps is what we're doing most of the time, and then they can make a decision if they want to go less at that time when they want to move over. What we don't want to do while I'm talking about it, we don't want to go 20, 25, 30 reps. Because a lot of times when someone's going that, they're thinking, well, I don't want to get bulky. It's not the fact that you're going to get bulky. 15 reps is typically what we call the end of traditional strength training. Meaning if you go, say 25 reps, let's say me and you do our arms like this. If we do it the first time, after 25, 30 times, we're tired, we're going to drop our arms anyway. So we don't want them doing resistance training where they're getting tired from the movement, not the resistance itself. So 15 is usually that kind of that magic number. Now we got one more machine in the circuit, which is going to be right here. I like to call this a fetal crunch because a lot of times when people do this, they don't do it the right way. So again, we're checking the weight. Now there's two different ways to do this machine, and I'll show those both. But I'm going to put my feet behind here. Now, when people do abs, a lot of times on this one, they're trying to pull just with their upper body, and it's not going to happen. The reason why we call this a fetal crunch, you're going to pull down with your hands, up with your feet. So when I do this, what I'm doing is I'm pulling out. So now I'm engaging my stomach, so I come like this. Now, if I come down like this, I could rest here all day. And if I come back up here, I can rest all day. So when you're doing abs, you're going to come forward and you'll feel your gauge, like my abs just engaged. And they're engaging all the way to right there. Now, once I get past there, there's nothing. So I want to keep it in that 50 to 60 degrees to where I'm feeling it on my stomach the entire time. Now, once I get 15 here, now I call this the Rocky exercise, meaning it's hard to go a 2 second count. So a lot of times I'll let people slide with a 1-1 count if they want to, but I'd rather still stay about the 2 second count. But again, I'm not going to get on somebody for going faster on this one. Now, once they get this, they're going to unlock this little lever here. When they do, they're going to turn to the side and work the obliques. Now, it doesn't lock in, so you're going to turn your hips the entire time. So they're going to come here, and then they're going to hit the obliques. They'll do 15, and then they'll just simply come to all the way around the other side. They'll do 15 again. Then they'll come back once they get 15, lock it back in and get off. Now, once we get to them all the way through the machine, it's important you understand they have a workout card. You just took them through the first time, all right? So I'm going to normally go through and say, hey, do you have any questions, Ted, on anything we just did? If so, ask them now. If you don't have any right offhand, just feel free to call me on the floor or anybody else out here when you come here. I do want to show you where to fill out the card. Actually, not to fill out the card, but put your card. But follow me right over here. So when you get through with a client, always walk them over here and tell them this is where your workout cards are. So let's just say Ted's last name is Banks. I'm going to say, Ted, I want you to put your card under the B's. Don't worry about being in exact order because it's not going to be in exact order when you get back. So just put it in there, and that's where it'll be waiting for you when you come back. Now, I always let them do it themselves. Here's why. I don't want them to come back looking for their card next time. Like, well, you can put my card in here. I know I did because you did it. Now, so once I do that, the last thing you want to say is, look, Paula, or actually Ted, if you have time, I got a what we call a rate your trainer sheet. It's basically just seeing if I did a good job training you, if I went over everything. If you don't mind, maybe take 5 more minutes to fill it out. And what you're going to do is just going to kind of rate my performance. Also going to make sure I cover everything with you. So if you don't mind, I'm going to bring it to you. If you'll just fill it out here at the front desk and leave it there. And if you have any questions at all, when you come back in here, just holler at me and the staff, and we'll make sure everything's going good for you.